Alabama fans. Fresh off Thanksgiving, a crazy Iron Bowl, and whatever else you want to call it, but you're inside, in my own words, the podcast, Touchdown Alabama Magazine's own Stephen M. Smith was popping, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you want to take your blame and aim it at the referees, at Jalen Hurts, at whatever you want to take a blame and aim it at, you can do that at your own peril. There were so many things that went on in this past Iron Bowl, the one in which Auburn got the 26-14 win. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the three main reasons as to why Alabama lost this game. Once again, at your own peril. Not saying it's right, but at your own peril. If you want to sit there and say the refs took it from the Tide, or Jalen Hurts ain't a good quarterback, or whatever you want to put out there, that's at your own peril. But there were so many things that happened in this football game, and yours truly, I'm just going to give you a simple rundown of the three reasons why Alabama dropped this game to Auburn. Reason number one, play calling from Brian Daboll was atrocious. Terrible. Terrible play calling from Brian Daboll. Probably the worst script game he's had all year. He's had some moments where he's been really high, and he's had some moments where he's been questionable. But this one right here was the worst one. Alabama had one drive in that game where it had all control. One drive. First possession of the third quarter. Alabama coming back after the halftime break. You're down 10-7. Getting the ball back in the second half. Bama's got the ball on its own 21-yard line. It goes 5 plays, 79 yards. 1 pass, 4 runs. Damian Harris, Bo Scarborough, just gashing Auburn. Tiger defenders are sucking air. Bama running the football. Doing what Bama does, running the football. Looked a lot like what happened in the 2015 Sugar Bowl off the 2014 season. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the college football playoff semifinal. The first ever college football playoff semifinal between Alabama and Ohio State, where the Tide had Lane Kiffin as the offensive coordinator, and Alabama running Derrick Henry off the left side of Cam Robinson and was getting 7 to 8 yards a pop, just gashing the Buckeyes. What happened? Bama gets too cute and tries to put the ball back in the hands of Blake Sims. No offense to Blake Sims. Had a great season. Phenomenal year. 35 total touchdowns accountable for, which was a single season school record at the time prior to Jalen Hurts. But if you are running the football with your backs that you recruit and you're running it successfully, why back out of the play? If you are running the ball and you are running it successfully and you can see the opposition ain't ready for it, why deviate from the play? Why? There is no reason for you to deviate from that. Same thing in the college football playoff semifinal last season against Washington. Alabama giving the ball to Bo Scarborough, and he has the game of his life to this point. 19 carries, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the college football playoff semifinal Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl a season ago. Alabama has one drive against Auburn where it's finally doing something. It's finally running the football. It's finally getting back to that Alabama identity. And then Brian Daboll switches up everything. You don't switch up everything. You go with what's been working. It's almost like the Apostle Paul, in a sense, not trying to get biblical here, but it's like the Apostle Paul going, follow me as I follow Christ. And if I deviate, don't deviate? That's what this is. If running the football is working, don't deviate from the blueprint. If that's what's working, go with it. It's a crime shame. Alabama has all of these 4- and 5-star backs. I'm wondering, is Nick Saban just recruiting these guys for decoration? That's what I'm wondering. You got Bo Scarborough, a 5-star. Damian Harris, a 5-star. Josh Jacobs, yes, he's a 3-star, but by goodness, he's talented. Najee Harris, a 5-star. Brian Robinson, a high 4-star. You even got Ronnie Clark out there. I mean, what are you doing? But just for the 3 backs, for the sake of Damian Harris, Bo Scarborough, Josh Jacobs, they combined put up 18 carries. They had 6 carries each. It took 3 of them to barely equal out what Jalen Hurts did. 17 carries for 80 yards for Jalen Hurts. I get it, Jalen Hurts is an athlete. I get it, the brother can run. But you have 3 backs on the roster. Why not give them the football? Damian Harris averaged 8.5 yards a carry on 6 carries. 8.5 yards a carry on 6 carries. Bo Scarborough, 7.7 yards a carry on 6 carries. The 3 combined, 18 carries for 122 yards and a touchdown. But once again, you had one drive where everything was falling into place and Dable switches it up. Jalen Hurts was not struggling in the first half. His struggles came in the second half. And the reason why his struggles came in the second half, because Alabama put everything on Jalen when it didn't really have to. Just stick to the run game. You stick to the run game, you wear Auburn down, then you can come back to the pass. Alabama did not continue to lean on the run game. That's Brian Dable. Alabama did not control the pace of that football game. Auburn possessed the ball for 36 minutes and 2 seconds. Alabama had it for 23 minutes and 58 seconds. So Alabama had the ball for barely 24 minutes. Auburn had it for 36 minutes and 2 seconds. Auburn possessed more of the ball. Why? Because Alabama failed to depend on the run game. It's number 1. Brian Dable got to get better in the play calling. If you see something that's working, keep that going. Number 2, Alabama's offensive line just got completely outmatched, folks. I mean, let's just be real. This has been 2 years of shakiness from Alabama's offensive line. 2 straight years. I don't know what's the deal with offensive line coach Brent Key, but somebody needs to talk to that man. Because this has been 2 years of inconsistency. I don't understand why the last 2 years Alabama's offensive line has been a semifinalist for the Joe Moore Award. Because this has been an inconsistent group. I remember Alabama offensive lines in years past when you talk about Barrett Jones, Chance Warmack, DJ Fluker, guys like Anton Caldwell, Andre Smith, Brett Davis, William Vlahos, Mike Johnson, Cyrus and Ari Kwanjo, more so Cyrus Kwanjo for the point being. Offensive lines like that where the moment the ball is snapped, your running backs are getting 5 to 6 yards before the first wave of defense touch them. Your guys are getting 5 to 6 yards before the first wave of defenders even makes a play. Offensive lines like that to where your quarterbacks are having ample amount of time to throw the football. You want to know why John Parker Wilson, Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, and Jake Coker were good? Look at the offensive lines they had. Gave them ample amount of time to throw the football. Even with Coker having the one kind of weak link in Dominic Jackson at right tackle, You still had 4 other guys that were consistently strong. On the offensive line the last 2 years, you can't even really point to one guy the last 2 years that's been consistently strong. Maybe Brantley Bozeman, maybe. But you can't even point to really one guy that's consistent, that you can consistently say, that guy's strong. That guy has been protecting the quarterback. That guy has been really opening up the run game. You can't really point to one. Like I said, maybe Brantley Bozeman, but only just maybe. Offensive line got whipped up front against Auburn. Yeah, it allowed 2 sacks, but 9 quarterback hurries. Every time Jalen Hurts touched the football, there was somebody flying at him. Yes, there were plays in that game he could have made, most definitely. But it is very hard to make those types of plays when guys are flying right at you and you can't see the guys downfield because you're so focused on, I got to either throw this ball out of bounds or find a way to make a play because I have guys chasing me. I don't care how good you are as a thrower. If you put Tua Tagovailoa in the same situation, the same thing happens because he's running for his life. There's no protection. None. For the last 2 years, this Alabama offensive line has lacked that nastiness. That nastiness that is forcing people off the ball. That's moving people off the football. That's giving you an ample amount of time to not just throw the football, but set up that run consistently. Offensive line whipped against Auburn. Just straight whipped. There was a play in the game where Trevon Diggs, phenomenal kick return. Probably his best kick return of the year. Probably our best special teams play of the year where the return game is concerned. Alabama gets down into Auburn territory. There's a screen play to Bo Scarborough, and Jonah Williams gets called for clipping. If the play is only going to get 5 yards, Jonah, just let it get 5 yards. You don't have to clip. Didn't need that. Did not need that. But tip your cap off to Auburn's Deshaun Davis, Derek Brown, Dontavius Russell, Jeff Holland. Tip your cap off to those guys. Alabama's offensive line just got flat whipped. Flat whipped, bullied around. And if you're Nick Saban, first coach I'm evaluating in the offseason is Brent Key. This is 2 years of this. I understand you picked him up from Central Florida. He did a lot of good things under Coach George O'Leary when O'Leary was there. Brent Key, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, run game coordinator, recruiting coordinator, did a lot of good things. But, I mean, for 2 straight years, you are struggling to get this offensive line to play with the nastiness. Need a new way of coaching or just need a new coach in that spot altogether. That's number 2, Alabama's offensive line getting straight whipped. Number 3, third down woes. Third down continues to be a problem for Alabama. Offensively, 3 of 11 on third downs. Could have honestly been 5 of 11 on third downs. There was a 3rd and 4 where Jalen tries to hit Calvin Ridley. Yes, the ball may have been slightly underthrown, but Ridley has both hands on that ball. You touch it, you catch it. We always talk about 5-star. 5-star. Got to make that catch. Calvin Ridley, 5-star. You got to bring that football in. That ball is in your hands. You've got to bring that football in. That would have been a first down. Then there was a 3rd and 3 or a 3rd and 4. Alabama goes with the pass in the flat to Bo Scarborough. Bo Scarborough's 230 pounds. There's a 189-pound safety trying to tackle him. If this is Najee Harris, he hurdles over that dude and picks up a first down. Bo doesn't juke the guy out the way. Bo doesn't stiff arm him. Bo doesn't try to power through him. Bo just goes down. That would have been a first down. Alabama could have easily been 6 of 11 on third down. Offensively, what happened? Just a desire to not finish plays. Did not want to finish plays. That's not the Alabama the fan base is used to seeing, the coaching staff is used to seeing. Not finishing plays offensively. On defense, however, Jeremy Pruitt was overthinking. Jeremy Pruitt was completely overthinking. He psyched himself out. He psyched his own self out. Why do you sit there and blitz a guy like Jarrett Stidham who gets the ball out of his hands quick? You don't blitz those type of guys. You blitz those guys that it takes forever for them to throw the football. If they got a quick release, and if you're playing up against a fast ball offense, as Nick Saban likes to call it, you don't blitz that. You get your hands up and you bat the ball down. This is the main reason why Dalvin Tomlinson was probably one of the more underrated defensive linemen in Alabama history. Yeah, he was not a Jonathan Allen. Yeah, he was not a Ryan Anderson or a Tim Williams or a pass rush guy, but Dalvin Tomlinson understood to the fullest degree of how to affect the quarterback. Dalvin Tomlinson, 10 career pass breakups. He knew how to get his hand in the passing lane and disrupt the throwing lane of a quarterback. Get your hands up, bat the ball down. That frustrates the timing also. Because if a quarterback cannot see a clear lane to throw the football, that is a detriment. Get your hands up, knock the ball down. You don't have to blitz. Get your hands up, knock the ball down, flush him out of the pocket. And when you flush him out, make tackles. Alabama could not get off the field on third down. Missed tackles. A lot of just missed tackles, not wrapping guys up, not hitting gaps. Just did not play fundamental football at all from an offense and a defensive standpoint. Auburn was 9 of 18 on third downs. 9 of 18. Of its 9 completions, of his 9 conversions, Stidham got 5 to 6 on his own. Kerryon Johnson had a couple of big runs in there as he totaled over 100 yards rushing, the second back this season to do this against Alabama, joining Jordan Wilkins of Ole Miss, who had 12 carries for 101 yards earlier this year when Alabama took on the Rebels at Bryant-Denny Stadium. But Auburn, 9 of 18 on third downs. Once again, you can blame whoever you want to blame at your own peril. You can blame the refs, but the referees get paid to do exactly what they want to do. Call what they want to call. The refs, if they feel like if they want to call something, they'll call it. If they feel like they don't, they won't. They get paid to do just that. Focus on whatever they want to focus on. Can't always say, we ain't getting a call from the refs. The refs are going to do exactly what they are paid to do. You can look at Jalen all you want to in this sense. Jalen went 13 for 23, completed over 50% for 177 yards and a touchdown. Yes, there were some plays he could have made, but at the end of the day, so many other things went on that you cannot just point the bullet at Jalen and shoot that man. So many other things went on. But to end all be all, 3 reasons why the Crimson Tide lost this game to Auburn. Number 1, poor play calling from Brian Dable. Number 2, Alabama's offensive line just straight whipped, bullied, mollywopped, straight taken to school by Auburn's defensive front. No physicality at all shown by Alabama's offensive line instead of just for one drive. And number 3, the third down woes continue for Alabama on offense and defense. Go to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast. Touchdown Alabama Magazine's own Stephen M. Smith. Just getting started, baby. Just getting started. When we get back, we'll look at the scenarios for Alabama moving forward and trying to get to the college football playoff. Now that the Tide season is over, now that the Tide has lost to Auburn, it lies in the mercy of the College Football Playoff Committee. What will happen from here? What does Alabama need to have happen from here? All of this and more coming up on the other side of the break. Show is brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine and Bama Sports Radio. We'll be back.